It was the summer when I turned 15, so I was like 14. Before I physically had the guitar, I went to a guitar school here on Fairfax in Santa Monica. It's not there anymore. But I went in there and I said, you know, I want to learn how to play bass, right? But I didn't have an instrument. So the guitar teacher was like playing some I think it was some Cream stuff on a guitar. He was playing the solos. I said, that's what I want to do. He goes, that's not bass, that's lead guitar. But you're going to need an instrument. And that's when I went home and said, hey, is there a guitar around here? And it was just an old flamenco style, cheap thing. I didn't know the first thing about anything having to do with the guitar. I just live and breathe the guitar. I took it everywhere I went. My best friend's dad is an actor, an old, really cool old actor named Seymour Cassell. And so whenever I used to go over there, he used to just call me Slash, and it was just one of those things because we all hung out there. So my friends started to call me Slash, and it just became a thing. I found out from Seymour years later, I think in like 1991 or 92, it goes, because you never stopped to talk to anybody, you never had time. I was always on the go. So every time he saw me, it was just, I'd whiz by, hey, and kept going. So it was always like just like a flash, but a slash. Anyway, so that's where it came from. Had nothing to do with knives or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. My dad calls me Slash, my mom called me Slash, and I think the last person that really called me Saul was my grandmother, rest in peace. When Van Halen came out, that was as soon as I heard that record, I was like 1978, so I was 13. And I hadn't picked up the guitar yet, but that signaled the end of rock as we knew it. I'm a huge fan of Eddie's, as Eddie as a person and as a player. That style that he did, you know, I've always thought that was something that was just like, that was something that he did. I'm definitely, you know, sort of influenced by him indirectly just because he's such a great fluid feel player. People don't pick up on that part of him as much as they do all the pyrotechnic stuff that he does. When we came along, which is like 1985, yeah, the prominent image up and down the strip was the hair bands. There had been a version of Guns N' Roses with Tracy Guns before the version with myself and Steven. That version was playing around. I remember when I was working at Tower Video, Izzy came in one day and gave me a flyer. And then prior to that, there was different incarnations of Hollywood Rose and, you know, stuff like that. There was a version of it with Steven Adler and Duff. No, Steven Adler and Axl and myself. And then, you know, there was a version of a band called Road Crew with Duff and Steven and myself. And then there was Guns N' Roses with Izzy and Duff and Tracy and Axl and Rob Gardner. And then I got back into it and we brought Steven into it, and then we played the Troubadour as this lineup.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the names? We are the people that can find whatever you may need. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease. The jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't you bring it to your
Sabbath is one of my favorite bands, but I think probably if I was going to name a favorite record that has been a favorite for all my life, it would probably be either Beggar's Banquet or Let It Bleed from the Stones. Or actually, you know what? Sticky Fingers, Let It Bleed, Beggar's Banquet, and Exile on Main Street. Those four records in a row. I think everybody says that their biggest influence is Eric Clapton. He was the guy that, all things considered, when I first figured out that it was lead guitar that I wanted to do, it was because I was watching a guy doing an Eric Clapton way. Cream had a hell of a lot to do with it. And then Derek and the Dominoes was really big. And there's a bunch of cool stuff, solo stuff that he did, dotted throughout up until now. I went and saw him play pretty recently, like a couple years ago, at the Forum. And he's just, every note that combination of notes that he does is really great. When I'm at home, I'm usually creating something, but I might have something that I listened to earlier that I'll get home and go, let's see if I remember that. I'm listening all the time. So if I hear something that catches my ear, I'll try and figure it out in my head. I like playing, That's basically all it is. It's just wanting to jam all the time. Clapton, Mick Taylor. I'm going to put the guys in Aerosmith as one. Jeff Beck. Keith's a big one, but then, there's Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix. Pretty much the best music of all time.